So the title of today's discussion is True Gratitude That Manifests. True gratitude that manifests, right? Gratitude for being God, not gratitude for garbage. So we're going to talk about gratitude, okay? Gratitude, if looked at through an incorrect lens, becomes a prayer of begging. But when we understand who we are, now this gratitude becomes extremely powerful, right? So this is what we're going to talk through. The first quote, I forgot to put it at the top, but it is down here. It is down here a little bit further, a little bit further. Why thank the echo when you hold the power of the voice? All right? Gratitude is not about looking out at a situation that you don't like and trying to conjure up some kind of fake emotion just so you can try to get something from God, right? Treating God like a vending machine, treating God like Santa Claus. If I am good, if I am kind, if I am nice, if I pretend that I like this situation that I clearly don't, then something can show up in my life. Please give me blessings, right? We're shifting. We're not going from gratitude. We're not faking gratitude. What is this gratitude for? This gratitude is for the knowing that God is within me, that I am God, that reality unfolds through me, that my essence is absolute perfection, is absolute divinity, that no circumstance is greater than I am. This is the gratitude that we're talking about. So we're going to go through this today. So I think this is going to be another good example. We're continuing to take these steps, and this is kind of the next step in our evolution together, per se. All right, so here we go. Most people were never taught true gratitude. They were taught a performance. They were taught to smile through pain, to say thank you for scraps. Right? And then we call that spirituality. So look at this situation. I'm grateful this situation is happening for whatever reason. It's us being grateful for scraps, believing that that is some kind of spirituality. Right? We were taught that if we pretend to be grateful for situations we hate, God will reward us. As if God is some cosmic vending machine, as if gratitude is a coupon code to earn blessings, right? That's not gratitude. Okay, it's spiritual people pleasing. It's spiritual bribery. That is what it is. True gratitude begins only when you know who you are. You cannot be truly grateful while living as a beggar in a kingdom you inherit. Okay, you cannot be truly grateful while living as a beggar in the kingdom you inherit. So let's get into it. Let's get into the meat and potatoes, all right? So John 8:32 says what? You will know the truth, and the truth will make you free. What is this truth? You will know the truth, and the truth will make you free. To know the truth is not to memorize doctrine. It's not to accumulate spiritual facts. To know the truth is to awaken to the reality behind all realities, right? The foundation of you is that you are God. You are the manifestation of God. You're the identity of divinity. You are the intersection of divinity and identity, right? God is pure spirit. God is pure spirit made manifest within your identity, your divine as. Isn't that divine? Isn't that beautiful? It absolutely is, right? So this is the truth behind all realities, the presence behind the personality, the I am behind the identity. So Jesus never said the truth will improve you, didn't say it will comfort you or give you a nicer life. Okay? He said the truth will make you free. Free from what? Free from what? What are we all looking for freedom from? We're looking for freedom from the external circumstances. Freedom from the thoughts that seem to race, freedom from the emotions that seem to pop up out of no fucking where. The truth will make you free. It will free you from the shackles of circumstances. I want you to think about this, all right? If I'm just trying to conjure up gratitude for a situation I don't like, what am I really doing? I'm polishing my own chains. I guess I like this. I'm identifying, right? I'm sitting in the identity of someone who accepts garbage, hoping that somehow, if I continue to spit out, I'm thankful for this, I'm thankful for this. that God will hear me. Some God will hear me. Some Santa Claus will hear me and deliver me a blessing. This is no different than you going to church and doing the same shit. This is what church is built on. Getting high off of hope. Instead, what is the gratitude about? The gratitude is that you are the creator. It's that reality unfolds from you, from within you. It's that you are greater than whatever circumstance. This should feel like remembering, right? So gratitude for the external situation is polishing your chains. It is polishing the chains that are holding you into bondage. But gratitude for the truth frees you. It frees you from that circumstance. This is what it's talking about when it says you will know the truth and the truth will make you free. This is what it means. Okay? So free from the stories you inherited. Free from the smallness you learned to settle for. Free from the fears you thought were permanent. Free from the external authority you believed controlled your destiny. The truth is the recognition that the kingdom is not coming from outside of you. The kingdom is the awareness within you, all right? It's the awareness within you, all right? Now, when you know this, when you know the truth, when you know that I am is within you, okay? When you know who you are, that you are the expression of God, okay? Not believe it, not repeat it, but know it, your entire relationship with the world shifts. You no longer worship circumstances. You can't worship the circumstances. You can't negotiate with fate. You stand as the one fate bows to, right? So I often get that question, Alex, what do you believe in, destiny and fate? There's your fucking answer. When you know who you are, when you know who you are as God, you no longer negotiate with fate. A magical fairy could show up in your life in front of you and say, this is your fate. And you could say, nah, I choose different when you remember who you are. But now when you don't remember who you are, everything becomes what? Everything becomes this, everything is trying to pull you away from your divinity. So now I'll say, oh, well, the past, because this has happened in the past, this must be who I am. Because the tarot card said this. Yeah. Because the astrology sign said this. Now, I'm not debating whether there's truth in those things. Of course there's truth, right? It's all God, of course. But what I'm saying is that you have the final say so. All of those things are beautiful, divine tools, right? I love me a woman that pull out a tarot card on my ass, right? But I have final say so. I get to accept or decline. It's all you, okay? So when you remember who you are, you no longer negotiate with fate. You stand as the one fate bows to. Next part. So the freedom Jesus spoke of is inner liberation. Inner liberation. It is the freedom that arises when you stop identifying with the character and remember the consciousness playing the character, right? Alex is a character. I've already been infinite versions of Alex in this reality, but this isn't the truth of who I am. It's just a vessel that consciousness assumes to walk through reality, but this has nothing to do with who I am. Alex has nothing to do with who I am, right? I simply am. You simply are awareness, are consciousness. Okay? So it is the freedom that comes when you realize you're not the broken version of yourself your memories have tried to make you loyal to. You are the resurrected one, the eternal one, the one who existed before the story and will exist after it. Truth does not free you by changing the world. Hear that. Right? Truth doesn't free you by changing the world. Truth frees you by changing the one who perceives the world. Okay? This is the magic. This is the true manifestation. The true manifestation is the remembrance, which liberates you from all the fear, from the anxiety, from the doubt. You realize those things are meaningless because they're not creating. I am creates. So I no longer sit around trying to have gratitude for circumstances I don't want. My gratitude is deeply rooted in the knowing of who I am as God, the expression of God. And so now you walk through your life grounded in this remembrance. What is there not to be gratitude about, right? The situation is what it is, but I am whatever I say I am, and reality unfolds from within me. You walk through reality lit up as God, and your being is just spilling, it's unfolding from within you, and then you constantly get to walk into more and more and more and more and more of who you are. Ain't that beautiful? What's more beautiful than it? What's more beautiful than it? Nothing. Can't convince me anything else is more beautiful than it. All right. So the truth is simple. Okay. The truth is simple. You're not groveling for blessings. All right. You are the source through which blessings flow. You are the source from which blessings flow. Get out of believing that gratitude is trying to fake up some feeling for a situation you don't want, for things you don't like, just so you can try to get something, and realize that gratitude is about the truth of who you are. All right. We'll do questions at the end. I'll send you a question the first 5, 6 times. All right. We're going to do them at the end. All right. But I'm staying in flow. I'm staying in flow here. All right. So gratitude that arises from identity and not circumstances. Gratitude that arises from identity and not circumstances. All right. So most people use gratitude as a coping mechanism. If you are listening to this, you right now are invited to use gratitude as a recognition of divinity. Now, I want you to hear how these discussions have been tying together. Okay. The last discussions that we've been having have been about memory. And so right now you stand in the center of eternity. Okay. And because the ego is this divine mechanism that allows you to see separation so you can experience yourself. What I mean by that is that you could not experience the love that you are through the illusion of separation without having an ego to allow you to perceive the separation. How else would you taste, that beautiful woman without the illusion of separation? You couldn't. All right. So because the ego cannot see the vastness, the fullness of who you are, the ego tries to put together a personality based on a past, right? This timeline of past. It tries to pull this one little instance out of the past and say, because this happened, this is who you are. You're invited to step into a better truth, a larger truth. Okay? What's the larger truth? Memory is just memory. It's just memory. But I now use my memory, right, to remember who I am in this moment. So yes, that happened. That was a real experience, but it's not the truth of who I am. What is eternal cannot be defined by one moment. One moment, one circumstance, one situation, one word can't define the infinite. That's why it's the fucking infinite, okay? So now, I have this memory. The ego can pull that, but now that should be a reminder for me to actually use my memory to remind myself of the truth of who I am. That doesn't define me. I get to choose who I am in this moment. This is your power. All right, so we talked about memory doing that, and now we're talking about gratitude, okay? I don't have to sit here and be grateful for a situation I don't like to hope it changes. A situation I don't like, it just allows me to be grateful for who I am, knowing that this is not the truth of who I am. I am that I am. The situation is what it is, but I am that I am. So I get to decide my identity in gratitude, knowing that reality unfolds from me, and I know that this situation too must pass. Now, the situation still is perfect because every version of God is within this situation as well. Where a piece of God is, all of God is there. But I don't have to act like I'm grateful for this situation. I see it as God. I know that it's God. Therefore, I know it can change. And so I choose who I am. I know that I am also grateful that I am God. And the fullness of God is within me. And so this situation must rearrange to match my true identity. There is where your gratitude comes in. Okay? Trust that was clear. Right. So let me give an example. Gratitude for garbage sounds like this. This is what it sounds like. It sounds like, I hate this situation, but let me pretend to appreciate it so the universe rewards me. The beggar's prayer. Oh, I'm just grateful that it's whatever because hopefully God is listening. You know what I'm saying? Please, hopefully a blessing just rains down on me. But you're the creator. But you are the creator. How can you be the creator and try to be grateful for something you don't like, hoping that a creator gives you a blessing? What sense does that make? All right? Gratitude for the God within sounds like what? I am grateful because I know who I am. Circumstances do not define me. I define them. Gratitude for the truth. All right? Gratitude for the truth. So the faking of gratitude, I hope you hear this. I trust that you see this. The faking of gratitude just becomes a beggar's prayer, a prayer for more lack, a prayer for more circumstance. You're just identifying with that circumstance anyway. But that's not who you are. Why? You don't need to be grateful for it. That's not who you are. Be grateful for who you truly are. I am that I am. I'm the expression of God. I'm the manifestation of the Spirit of God. Therefore, all of the situation, it must unfold. It must rearrange to match me. Huh? So here we go. The gratitude of mastery. Okay. This is the gratitude of the awakened. And so we are going to go into a couple quotes from mysticism in a second. First, this Neville Goddard quote. Okay. This Neville Goddard quote. Change your conception of yourself and you will automatically change the world you live in. Okay. It's the first quote that we're going to go to. Okay? Change your conception of yourself and you will automatically change the world you live in. All right? Your gratitude should not come from the world. Right? Even Neville had it the right way. Not change your conception of the world and you will automatically change the world you live in. Change your conception of yourself. See, we constantly kind of miss this up. We think the world is so, it's so solid. Well, how do I get this specific person? How do I get this money? How can I pretend I have money when I don't have it? How can I pretend that they are here when they're not here? So why are you pretending? Stop being a child. Go to the truth. Go to the truth. Base your identity in the truth of who you are. You're not shouting affirmations at reality hoping they change. If you want to do that, you might as well go to church and scream prayers to a God in the sky and hope that it hears one of them. It's the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing. We're going from worshiping the external to knowing that consciousness resides in us. Therefore, there is nothing to change but what? Me deciding who I am, me choosing the version that I am. There is where my gratitude comes from. I am grateful that I have the power within me to change whatever circumstance. I am grateful. I am grateful that I have the power within me to change whatever circumstance. That is what it is. Okay? That is what it is. So your gratitude should not come from the world. Okay? Change your conception of yourself. When you start to root in yourself and you walk around present, first of all, you become magnetic. Because when you pull that energy back into yourself, right? And you're simply knowing who you are, walking through it, you just radiate different. It's something about somebody that's just rooted in the truth of who they are. There's a little different energy right there. Versus someone whose energy is always out there, always trying to please. It's just a different energy. Okay? But now, when we start actually reading these things verbatim, not verbatim, when we start actually reading these things for what they mean and not for what we think they mean, it doesn't say change your conception of the world. Change your conception of yourself. Because there is no world to change. There is only self. Everything out there unfolds from within me. Everything out there unfolds from within me. Therefore, I don't need to think better thoughts about the world. I simply need to know who I am. Meaning, let me give a practical example. You like practicality, right? Practicality is cool, you know what I'm saying? More power to the practical gods and goddesses in here, all right? I'm not telling you to affirm that your bank account looks different than it is, okay? The bank account is that, all right? What I'm telling you is to go to the truth of your identity in God, meaning I just am abundance. And because I am abundant, that abundance that I am flows, unfolds from within me, and I walk to meet that abundance in my life. I'm not shouting affirmations at the bank account, right? If you do that, I'll bring you the straitjacket myself. I'll help escort you to the hospital, to the facility to help you get well. Huh? I'm not sitting here telling you to affirm that your SP is with you, your specific person, this woman or man that you want is with you. I'm not telling you to ignore reality. I'm not telling you to ignore the physical pain in your body. I'm telling you to accept the situation is what it is, but you are the perfection underneath that situation. You get to define your identity as God. I am health. Therefore, I am health. I am perfect. I am whole. Therefore, the body must what? Unfold, rearrange to match that. The sickness, the pain must disappear back into the quantum, into the fucking ether, and rearrange itself into this beautiful divine version of you that you have always been. You are not, okay? Hear me. You are not describing reality with your identity. You are describing yourself. Here's the paradox. You are reality. So by describing yourself, you are describing reality. This is why it'll feel like you're lying all the time. If you're like, well, how do I just pretend I have $1 million? Alex, I can't do that. I'm not saying to pretend. Leave the pretending for children. Okay? I'm telling you to know who you are. You are abundance. You are prosperity because the Spirit of God is within you. You are looking at the shadow that is cast by the light that you are. Everything that you see is just a shadow cast by the light that you are. And you're looking at the shadow as your identity. But you are the light. You're the one who cast that shadow. Okay? You get to decide who you are. All right, so next part. The ego's mistake. Gratitude as manipulation. All right? So the ego thinks what? What does the ego think? Which is also a concession because there is no ego that thinks, right? There's no ego that thinks. It's not a dark, nasty entity with a pitchfork. Okay? It's just a collection of thoughts to help keep you safe. That's all. All right. So the ego thinks, if I act grateful for this mess, maybe God will throw me a blessing. Like a dog begging for a bone. But you're not a dog. You are God. The higher self asks, okay, what is the response to this question? If I act grateful for this mess, maybe God will throw me a blessing. What is the response? The response is this. Why are you thanking God as if God is separate from you? Why are you begging the very consciousness that is breathing through you? The ego uses gratitude to negotiate with fate. The higher self uses gratitude to what? Anchor identity. That's what your divine ass is doing from now on, right? You're using gratitude to anchor your identity. To anchor your divine identity. All right? Quote from Eckhart Tolle. This is a good quote, right? Hear this quote out. Okay, hear this quote out. Acknowledging the good that is already in your life is the foundation for all abundance. Stop there. Okay? Acknowledging the good that is already in your life is the foundation for all abundance. But Alex, you just said gratitude for the external. Okay, I did. I absolutely did. Let's go a step further. Okay? Let's go a step further. Okay? So what is the quote from mysticism? All right? What is the deeper level that we get from studying mysticism, from studying the oneness? The good that is already in your life is what? The presence of God within you. Acknowledging the good that is already in your life is the foundation for all abundance. I can't say that enough times. I cannot say that enough times. Acknowledging the good that is already in your life is the foundation for all abundance. What is the good that is already in your life? The very presence of God within you. Beautiful. Acknowledging the good that is already in your life is the foundation for all abundance is often interpreted as being grateful for external situations. But the mystics knew that external conditions are only shadows cast by internal awareness. The good that is already in your life is not limited to material blessings or fortunate circumstances. The good is the awareness that perceives them. Let me highlight that. And let me underline it. Let me underline it, highlight it. I should put it in red, right? Put a big arrow around it. The good is the awareness that perceives them. The good is the consciousness that animates you. The good is the very presence of God expressing through you. When you acknowledge this inner good, you are returning to the source of all abundance. You are recognizing that the reservoir I knew words like that. The reservoir of every manifestation is the divine identity sitting at the center of your being. Boom. There's where your gratitude comes from, the knowing of who you are. Of course, I'm source. Everything is just an opportunity for me to choose. It's all beautiful. It's all wonderful. Why? Because it's all God and God flows through me. My gratitude is rooted in my knowing of who I am. Boom, 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 boom. So this is why the mystics go deeper. The mystics go deeper. They say abundance begins with remembering and not receiving. It's what we always talk about, right? The true manifestation is the remembrance that you're God. How do you remember? Well, you couldn't ask that question if you didn't remember. You've already remembered. Now simply walk through life with that identity. Ground yourself, root yourself in that knowing. I tell y'all what I did. I do constantly tell y'all what I did. And I say it in indirect ways and direct ways. The knowing that I was God became the center point of my existence. It became my primary objective in life. If reality is within me and I am God and God is everything, okay, then what else is there to do? So this became my primary focus. My primary focus was simply walking through life knowing that I was God and being grateful that whatever I saw, oh shit, that's old. That's old data. That's data from the past, but I get to choose who I am in this moment. Remember, when I say remembrance, it's not a feeling. It's not a thought. It's a knowing. It's a remembrance. You have always been God, even when you forgot. You just forgot for a little bit of time, but you've always been God. Remembrance is just remembrance. That's all it is, right? We're the ones who will say things like, Ellis, I get it, I remember, but, I just don't feel it all the way. There's something missing, right? Maybe after the next affirmation, that's the trap. That right there is the trap. The thinking that, somewhere later on, right? I get it, I hear you intellectually, but somewhere down the line, something more will click. That's the trap. I don't know, maybe after the next video, maybe after the next sleep tape, maybe after the next meditation, maybe if I do a 13-day fast, it'll really lock in this identity. That's the trap. This identity doesn't need to be locked in. It's already who you are. It's already who you are. It just needs you to rest in the knowing, be still and know. Cease striving, chill out. Just know that you are God. Okay, just know that you are God. All right, so here we go. When you acknowledge the divine presence within you, you shift from seeking abundance to embodying it. You stop thanking God for crumbs and start recognizing that the loaf rises from your own consciousness. The good in your life is not something that happens to you. Okay, the good things in your life are not happening to you. They're unfolding from you. They're radiating from within you. Once this inner good is acknowledged, accepted, right? When you accept it, not when you feel it more, but when you just accept the truth, when you stop fighting against the truth. Because it's more so about us refusing to continue to fight back against the truth than it is for us to do more to realize the truth. You know the truth, you're God, or else you wouldn't still be listening. You wouldn't still be listening. You already know it. So it's not about you feeling it more, embodying it more. It's about you stop fighting with that truth. It's about you just accepting it. Just accept the truth. Don't think you are, know you are. As the great poet Morpheus said, right? Don't think you are, motherfucker, know you are. Or something like that. All right. Once this inner good is acknowledged, outer abundance becomes inevitable. The world reorganizes. The world reorganizes itself around your recognition of truth because manifestation, let me highlight this, manifestation is nothing more than reality rearranging itself to match your state of being. Abundance follows awareness. And awareness begins with the remembrance that God is not outside of you. God is the very awareness hearing these words. Show the vine ass. All right? Once that is recognized, everything else becomes overflow. Beautiful. All right, so next, the mystic view. Okay? The mystic view. Gratitude as divine remembrance. The mystics never taught gratitude for pain, just for the sake of appearing humble. They taught gratitude as remembrance of origin, right? That's why I love, and as y'all know, because I constantly say this, I love spiritual beliefs that are rooted in mysticism and the knowing that God is within. Right? Because that is where gratitude comes from. Where else does gratitude come from? If it comes from any other place, it's fleeting. Right? If it comes from external circumstances and situations, oh, those things change. Oh, those things change all the time. If it comes from emotions, oh, those things change. They change all the time. So where does it come from? It has to come from the knowing that you're God. This is the only place it makes sense to come from. Everything else is fleeting. Everything else is temporary. The only truth is I am. God is everything. And if God is everything, omnipresent, that means the fullness of God is within me. So it gives new meaning to even the scripture that says, seek ye first the kingdom and all these things will be added to your divine acts. Seek ye first the kingdom and all these things will be added. What is the kingdom? Well, no one will say lo here or lo there, for the kingdom is not something that's observable with eyes. The kingdom is within you. So if the kingdom, it's just a remembrance. That's all it's saying. It's saying, seek ye first the remembrance or the knowing that you're God, and then everything will be added to you. This is it. This is the only step. Be still and know. Stop trying to become something you already are and just know that you're God. Be still and know that you're God. Beautiful. All right. So here's a Rumi quote. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. What is he talking about here? What is this poetic ass dude talking about? The union, the gratitude of union. All right. So when the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. Okay. This is the gratitude of union. The gratitude that arises when the self dissolves into the presence that holds all things. Not the gratitude that strains to find something to appreciate, but the gratitude that appears effortlessly when you rest in your true nature. When the soul lies down, meaning when the ego stops striving. That's what it means. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. What is the soul lying down? It's when you rest. When you stop trying and you sit down into the knowing that you're God. Okay? When the soul lies down, when the ego stops striving, trying to manipulate, the world becomes too full to talk about because you're no longer observing reality from separation. You are experiencing reality as the extension of your own being. This is gratitude without effort. That gratitude, it flows from oneness. It just comes from recognition of the truth that I am God. That's it. That's the source of gratitude right there. Absolutely beautiful. So the next quote from Meister Eckhart. If the only prayer you ever say in your entire life is thank you, it is enough. Good old Meister. Okay. What is he trying to say here? Thank you for the divine spark in the core of your being, right? The power of this statement is not in the words thank you, but in who is speaking them, right? Thank you is not directed toward a distant deity. It is directed toward the divine spark that is the very core of your being. When you say thank you from this place, you are no longer thanking God as some kind of external giver. You are acknowledging that the source of life, power, and creation is moving through you. You are honoring the indwelling presence that shapes your world. This is why one simple thank you can be enough. It is gratitude that recognizes the unity of the prayer and the answered prayer. It is gratitude that affirms I am one with the source. I am already whole. I am already held. And from this knowing, abundance flows as naturally as breath, right? It is that union of the prayer and the answered prayer within you. That is where gratitude comes from. It doesn't come from trying to force gratitude from something out there. It's the knowing of who you are. It's the knowing of who you are. Okay? Here we go. Gratitude is remembering that you are not separate from the source. You are an expression of the source. That almost gave me a little bit. That almost gave me a little tingle, you know what I'm saying? That felt good to say. Gratitude is remembering that you are not separate from the source. You are an expression of the source. You are the flame that the fire calls home. You are the flame that the fire calls home with your divine ass. All right? Almost done. No, never mind. No, we're not almost done. We still got a couple sections. All right. So the metaphysics. All right. Gratitude aligns you with identity, not circumstances. All right. Gratitude is a frequency. I know y'all love the word frequency. You love it. Frequency, vibration. Oh my God. When I say that, I can just, yes. Now you're talking my language, Alex. Gratitude is a frequency. Okay. But it is not a frequency of pretending everything is fine. Remember, when I talk about frequency, I'm talking about identity. Okay? So gratitude is a frequency, but it is not a frequency of pretending everything is fine. It is a frequency of knowing everything flows from within. Nah, you love frequencies. It's identity. Frequency, identity, okay? When you are grateful because you know you are God in expression, your state shifts. Your assumptions shift. Your identity shifts. That is the frequency. Identity, frequency, vibration, embodiment. Don't give a damn what kind of fancy name you put on it, all right? It's the knowing that you're God. When we talk about frequency, vibration, remember, you are just the frequency of God. That's it. That's just the truth. It's just a fact. It just is what it is. You can't debate it. I don't want to hear your pushback. Don't care. You just are the vibration, the frequency of God. That's it. Okay? That is it. Now, because you are the frequency or the vibration of God, that means all realities, all versions of you exist within your divine as right now. So you get to choose who you are being. What is your identity? Well, my identity is that I am rooted in the knowing that I am God, and therefore all my desires are automatically pushed out of me and unfold in this physical reality. I don't have to do shit because I am God. That's it. That's something for me to be grateful for in every second. Everything, okay? Everything that I desire will be there when I get there. It's already there. It'll be there in the physical reality when I get there. But right now I am here, and here is absolutely perfect. It is absolutely perfect. Okay? So here we go. Here's the Kabbalion, right? What does the Kabbalion say? The Kabbalion says what? The all is mind, the universe is mental. All is mind, the universe is mental, which means your gratitude is not for what happens. Your gratitude is for the mind that shapes what happens. Circumstances are the echo. Your state is the voice. Why thank the echo when you hold the power of the voice? Why? Next, the trap of false gratitude. Here is false gratitude. Here's false gratitude. Don't let this one be too triggering. I guess everything happens for a reason. Let me be grateful for this terrible shit because maybe God is testing me. God's not testing you. God's not testing you. Your identity is just showing up in your reality. God's not here to test you. Okay? I guess everything happens for a reason. Let me be grateful for this terrible shit because maybe God... No. It's not always important for us to figure out why things are happening. Okay? But you get to make a choice. Right now, you get to make a choice of who you are moving forward and allow that to unfold in your reality. Okay? Here we go. So this mindset keeps people stuck in spiritual poverty. Here is true gratitude. No matter what I am facing, I am still what God is. I am still the creative force. I am still the one with authority, and for that I am grateful. Okay? One view makes you a spectator. You're just idly watching these situations and show up in your life. The other makes you an actual creator. Okay? The other makes you an actual creator. Cool. Cool. All right, so here we go. Gratitude as God knowing God. I love when y'all help each other out in the comments. Love that shit. All right, gratitude is God knowing God. Gratitude is not you thanking a deity in the sky, right? Stop treating God like Santa Claus. Stop. Okay? Gratitude is God recognizing itself within you. It is the awareness that says, I am grateful because I am awake. I am grateful because I know who I am. I am grateful because nothing outside of me determines the truth of me. So this is what Jesus meant when he said what? I and the Father are one. Right? John 10:30. I and the Father are one. All right. Gratitude flows from that oneness, not from pretending you enjoy situations you don't want. All right. So here we go. We got some steps. We got steps towards true gratitude because I know y'all love some practical shit. All right. So we got steps, 5 steps to true gratitude. Then we got a closing. Then I got a letter to you. Then we got some affirmations. And then that's it. All right. Then we'll do questions later on tonight. Okay. We'll do them later on tonight. So here we go. True gratitude. What are the steps? Number 1. I'm still recovering from this Thanksgiving meal. You know what I'm saying? I would stay on with y'all, but yeah. Why am I explaining myself? All right. True gratitude. Number 1. Stop thanking God for situations you want to escape. Okay? It only keeps you aligned with the version of you who tolerates them. All right? Here we go. It only keeps you aligned with the version of you who tolerates them. All right, cool. I'm not going to thank God for the situations I want to escape. Cool. Number 2, start thanking God for being God within you. What does that do? It aligns you with the version of you who transforms situations. It's your identity. Choose a new identity. Stop being the character that just looks out there and says, oh, I guess bad shit just happens sometimes because God is testing me. I'm just in a season of isolation, a season of being tested. And get out that fucking season. Choose a new identity. Choose a new character. Choose a new character, right? Start thanking God for being God within you. Have gratitude for you being the center of reality, you being the source, that reality unfolds from within you. Okay, so now you are the version of you who transforms situations. Number 3, be grateful for the identity and not the conditions. The conditions will follow the identity anyway. Okay, the conditions will follow the identity anyway. So I'm grateful for the identity. Number 4, be grateful from knowing. Be grateful from knowing, right? So fear says what? Fear says what? Let me act grateful so I can earn blessings. Knowing says I am grateful because blessings must come. They come from who I am. Yeah, they come from who I am. All right? So here are the steps. Take your focus off the external world. Okay? Know who you are. Right? Root your identity in the knowing that you are source. That is your new identity. You are grateful because everything what? Unfolds from within you. All right? Now I'm grateful for the identity, not the conditions. The identity, not the conditions. All right? Now be grateful from that knowing. All right? Blessings must come. They come from who I am. Number five, let gratitude be remembrance. Stop treating God like Santa Claus. All right. So gratitude is remembrance. You're not negotiating with God. You are remembering that you are the expression of God. And because you are the expression of God, you're grateful. Okay, I know that reality unfolds from within me. Now, what character do I choose in this moment? Be grateful it's done. And then flow through life with that knowing. Absolutely beautiful. All right. True gratitude. Those are your 5 steps. Don't worry. Of course, this document will be uploaded to YouTube. I got a little lazy before Thanksgiving. I know I probably still got a couple documents to upload. I'm sure y'all gonna tell me when I go check the comments. But I'm gonna upload this document to YouTube. So this document is yours. All right? Don't get writer's crap trying to write all this shit down. Okay? I upload these to YouTube. So this document is yours. All right. So in closing, gratitude is not a spiritual chore. It's not emotional gymnastics. It's not pretending everything is fine. Okay? It is the roar of your divine identity saying, I know who I am. I know what flows from me. I know what I am creating, and I am grateful because I am aligned with the truth. I am the truth. Like Jesus said, I am the truth. That is you. That is you. I am the truth. All right? You no longer need gratitude for garbage. Right? You don't have to have gratitude for, that's even another question, right? And I like that I thought about this because this ties into this. Another question I used to ask this question all the time too. It's like, okay, well, how am I supposed to act when I get stuff I like? Like when I get the shit that I want, how am I supposed to act? Like I gotta make sure I keep the pool of blessings unfolding. It doesn't matter how you act. Right? It doesn't matter how you act. Okay? It doesn't matter how you act. Those things are going to continue to flow no matter what because you know who you are. Okay? Because you know who you are. Hands cramping like a motherfucker, man. God damn, fuck. Don't let the pen run out of ink. Motherfucking pencil get dull on your ass while you're trying to write this. I got you. All right? So here we go. You no longer need gratitude for garbage. You don't need to thank mistreatment. Let me say that louder. You don't need to be grateful for mistreatment. You don't need to smile through circumstances that contradict your soul. Your gratitude belongs to your divinity. Your identity, your knowing of who you are. You are grateful because you are God in awareness. Everything you desire flows from that. This is the gratitude that transforms worlds. Beautiful. I feel like this was a beautiful discussion. I think that it was pretty clear. I trust that it was extremely clear. An extremely clear way to take back this gratitude, to stop using gratitude as some prayer as a beggar to try to convince and scam God into getting what you want, right? Some of y'all motherfuckers is scammers. Some of y'all motherfuckers is trying to scam God with your gratitude. Hopefully this gives you the clarity to not do that anymore. Okay? Cool. So here we go. All right. Cool. All right. So here we go. I don't understand that. There's words for me and there's words for everyone. Of course there are. That's why I can only be one perspective of God. I'm confused. Okay, cool. So here we go. I got a letter to you, okay? A letter to you, okay? Wrote this to myself. However, remember, read this or hear this from the perspective of you speaking to yourself, okay? You speaking for yourself. Here we go. So, beloved, sit with me for a moment. Okay? Place your hand on your heart and feel the quiet pulse beneath your palm. That pulse is not just yours. It is the rhythm of God moving through you. Before a single circumstance changed, before a single desire manifested, this was true. I want you to remember something. You were never meant to perform gratitude as if you were auditioning for blessings. You were never asked to smile through situations your soul rejected. You were never required to thank life for crumbs while forgetting that you are the one who bakes the bread. True gratitude is not pretending. True gratitude is remembering. So today, I want you to thank the right thing, not the temporary conditions that tried to convince you that you were powerless. Gotcha. Thank the truth that lives under all of it. Thank the divine spark within you, the one you have ignored for too long. Thank the I am that breathes your lungs and beats your heart. Thank the awareness that is greater than the body, greater than the thoughts, greater than the story. Thank the part of you that never broke, even when everything else did. You are not giving thanks because your circumstances deserve it. You are giving thanks because your identity commands it. You are thanking the truth that sets you free. You are thanking the presence that creates worlds. You are thanking the God within you who has been waiting for you to stop bowing to conditions and start remembering who you are. Every time you say thank you from this place, your inner world realigns. Your state shifts. Your authority returns. Your future rearranges itself around the truth you finally decided to honor. So, beloved, let this be the prayer you whisper as you rise. Thank you for the divinity within me. Thank you for the power that flows through me. Thank you that I am no longer begging life to change. Thank you that I now remember I am the one who changes it. This is the gratitude that frees you. This is the gratitude that transforms you. Okay? This is the gratitude that returns you to yourself. Right? This is the gratitude that transforms worlds, transcends circumstances, and transforms worlds. I should have put that in there. Okay? Matter of fact, I'll add it. Boom. This is the gratitude that transcends circumstances and transforms worlds. Okay? I am that I am. No matter what. Okay? No matter what. So we got 5 affirmations for you. Okay, remember, when we hear these affirmations, all right, you're not trying to become these. This is remembrance of who you've always been. Accept the truth. Stop fighting the truth. This is who you are. Don't fight the truth. Okay? Don't think you are, know you are. All right? Number 1, I am grateful because I know who I am and my reality aligns with the truth of my divine identity. Gotcha. Had to make sure that I had clarity. Okay? I give thanks for the God within me, the source from which every blessing flows. Ooh-wee. I give thanks for the God within me, the source from which every blessing flows. Next. My gratitude is not for circumstances. It is for the presence that creates them. Yeah, exactly. The external world follows suit. Exactly. Okay. Number three, my gratitude is not for circumstances, it is for the presence that creates them. Beautiful. My gratitude is not for circumstances, it is for the presence that creates them. Yeah. Number four. Number four. I am the embodiment of abundance. I am the vibration of abundance. I am the frequency. Whatever you want to put in there, you are abundance. Okay? And everything in my life responds to the truth of my being. Because you are God, how could you not be abundant? Perfect. Prosperity. Love. How could you not be what you already are? Right? We simply have to stop fighting the truth. We just have to accept the truth. I am the embodiment of abundance. I am abundance. And everything in my life responds to the truth of my being. Yeah. And last but certainly not least, thank you that I am free. Thank you that I am whole. Thank you that I remember I am the creator of my world. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. Thank you that I am free. Thank you that I am whole. Thank you that I am. Thank you that I remember I am the creator of my world. Okay? I am that I am, right? No matter what. No matter what.